From the outside, my mom looked like the perfect grandmother. She baked cookies with my daughter, read her bedtime stories, and insisted on buying her birthday dresses. People always said, "Your mom is so loving, your daughter's lucky to have her," and I believed that too. For a very long time, when Lily was born, I was overwhelmed. I was 25, newly divorced, and barely holding it together. My mom stepped in like a savior. She offered to help while I worked. She said, "You need rest. Let me take care of her for a while." And I let her. At first, it was perfect. Lily was happy. My mom seemed thrilled to be a grandmother. She showed up with toys, new clothes, blankets. She even paid for daycare sometimes when I couldn't afford it. I was grateful. I thought I was lucky to have her support. Then the small comments started. "She sleeps better at my place. She barely cries when she's with me. You're holding her too much. She's getting needy." They didn't seem cruel at the time, just normal mom comments, but something about them made me feel less like I wasn't doing a good enough job, like she was the better mother. And I was just a girl who got pregnant too young. One night, I came to pick Lily up and noticed a rash on her arm. It looked red, irritated. I asked what happened. "Oh, I gave her a bath. It must have been the soap," my mom said casually. I blinked. "You gave her a bath?" She nodded like it was the most natural thing in the world. But I hadn't packed soap or pajamas or even mentioned bath time. It was a tiny thing, but it stuck with me. I told myself I was overthinking it. But that wasn't the only time something felt off. Lily started crying when we pulled into my mom's driveway. Not once, but repeatedly, screaming, clinging to my shirt, begging me not to go inside. My mom would laugh and say, "Oh, she's just being dramatic. She does this sometimes." I believed her. I wanted to believe her. Because the alternative, accepting that something might be wrong, was too terrifying to face. When you're tired, overwhelmed, and trying your best, you hold on to anything that feels like help. And my mom made herself look like a lifeline. I told myself, she's helping, she loves Lily, I'm just being paranoid. But deep down, I started to feel it, that uncomfortable tension in your stomach when something looks right, but feels completely wrong. I didn't act on it then. I wish I had, because this was the start, the small signs, the soft warnings, the ones you only recognize when it's already too late. And now all I have left are those warnings, replaying in my head, over and over again, trying to tell me something I refused to hear, because I trusted the wrong person, my own mother. The next time it happened, I couldn't ignore it. It was a rainy Thursday, and I was running late to pick up Lily. When I finally got there, she didn't come running like she usually did. She was sitting stiffly on the couch, her hands in her lap, eyes on the floor. My mom was in the kitchen, calm as ever. "Hey sweetie," I said, bending down to hug Lily. She looked up at me with wide, unsure eyes and then burst into tears. She clung to my jacket and kept whispering, "Go home, go home. I want to go home." My mom rushed out of the kitchen and said, "She just woke up from a nap. You know how cranky she gets." But I didn't know that, because she never did that with me. I asked if something happened. My mom waved it off. She got upset about her snack. "Don't worry, I should have left it there." But something in me kept digging. That night, I asked Lily while putting her to bed, "Did Grandma do anything that made you sad?" She hesitated. Her tiny fingers twisted the edge of her blanket. Then she said, "She puts me in the quiet room." I froze. "What's the quiet room?" "Baby," she pointed at the corner of the room, "the one with no lights. She says I have to be quiet, so the house can sleep." I wanted to believe it was just a misunderstanding, maybe a timeout, maybe my mom's old school way of discipline. But why the dark? Why alone? I called my mom the next morning, asked her about it. She laughed and said, "Oh, she's being dramatic again." I let her sit in the guest room with a book if she throws a tantrum. "It's not dark." The way she said it was calm, like I was overreacting, and maybe I was, maybe. But something changed in me that day, a small crack in the blind trust I had always given my mother. I started paying attention more, picking up Lily early, noticing things, like how she flinched at loud noises, or how she stopped making eye contact with my mom. How she always wanted to sleep in my bed after visiting her. I stopped letting Lily stay overnight. My mom pushed back. She said I was being sensitive, controlling. She started guilt-tripping me. "I'm trying to help, and this is how you treat me." But I didn't care. something wasn't right. And I finally decided to listen to that voice in my head. I just wish I had listened sooner because the worst day of my life was still coming. It was supposed to be just one night. I had picked up an extra shift to cover some bills. My regular babysitter was out of town, and none of my friends could step in. After calling around and running out of options, I did the one thing I had promised myself I wouldn't do. I called my mom. Her voice on the phone was soft, kind, and warm, too warm. Of course, sweetie, I've missed her so much, she said. You know how happy she'll be to spend the night. I hesitated. Every nerve in my body was buzzing, telling me to hang up. But I needed to keep my job. I needed that money, and she was her grandmother. I told myself I was being paranoid. It's one night. I told myself, just one. When I dropped Lily off, she looked at me with these big, worried eyes. She didn't cry, but she didn't smile either. That was unusual. Normally, even if she didn't want to go, she'd at least kiss me goodbye. But this time, she just stood there, holding my hand tightly. Be good for Grandma, I whispered. She nodded. I handed over her little backpack, clothes, toothbrush, her favorite bunny plushie. I gave my mom a quick hug and turned back one last time. Lily was still standing at the door, staring. That shift was the longest of my life. I kept checking my phone. No texts, no calls. I told myself that was a good thing. I even tried calling around 1:30 a.m. just to check in. No answer. I figured they were asleep. At 6:03 a.m. my phone rang. It wasn't my mom. It was a number I didn't recognize. The voice on the other end said, "Ma'am, this is Mercy General. Your daughter has been brought in. We need you to come immediately." I was out the door before they even finished the sentence. When I got there, they were trying CPR. I could hear the sounds before I saw her, those sharp, mechanical beeps, the thump of compressed air, and then I saw her, Lily, my baby girl, pale and unmoving. A nurse was holding her tiny wrist, while another worked on her chest. Her bunny plush was sitting in a plastic bag on the counter. A doctor came up to me, said the words I'll never forget. "We did everything we could. I'm so sorry." I collapsed. I don't remember screaming, but people told me later that I did. My mom showed up 20 minutes later, red-eyed, trembling. She told the staff she had left Lily in the bath for just a second to grab a towel. She was fine. She kept saying she was fine. I didn't know she would. I didn't mean to. The police were called. They questioned her, questioned me. I told them Lily hated baths. She wouldn't even let me wash her hair without a meltdown. The detective took notes, told me they'd look into it. But there were no marks, no bruises, nothing to charge her with, and so it was written off as a tragic accident. But I know the truth. I've always known. The days after Lily's death moved like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. Planning a funeral for your child is something no one prepares you for. Picking out a tiny white coffin, choosing a song she liked for the service, looking through baby pictures when your hands won't stop shaking. I went through the motions, but I wasn't really there. People came. They brought flowers, cards, casseroles, empty words. Like she's in a better place now, at least she didn't suffer. But they didn't know the truth, not the real truth, not what I couldn't say out loud. My mother killed my daughter. Not with a weapon, not with poison, but with obsession, with control. With this desperate, twisted idea that she could raise Lily better than I could. Maybe it wasn't premeditated. Maybe she truly did leave the room, thinking she'd be right back. Or maybe she wanted to teach me a lesson. Maybe she thought if Lily got hurt, I'd come running back to her, that I'd admit I couldn't do it alone. But she was wrong. She always had this way of making me feel small. Even at the funeral, she cried louder than anyone, held onto Lily's photo like it was her own child. People told me, she's just broken. She loved that little girl so much. But love doesn't look like that. Love doesn't take away someone's child. I remember standing at the gravesite, the pastor reading verses I couldn't hear. My mother stood next to me, tried to hold my hand. I pulled away. Didn't even look at her. She didn't understand why. Or maybe she did, and just didn't care. The investigation was closed within 3 weeks. The coroner ruled it an accidental drowning. No signs of foul play. But I had already made my decision. I cut all ties. Blocked her number, packed up my apartment, left the city. I didn't tell anyone where I was going. I just disappeared. Even now, I wonder if she tells people she doesn't know what happened. if she paints herself as a grieving grandmother, if she truly believes she's innocent. But I know better. I see her in my dreams, not just her face but her hands, wrinkled, wet, trembling. I see the bathroom, the tub, the silence. And I hear Lily's voice. Sometimes it's calling me, sometimes it's laughing, but most nights, she says nothing at all. 2 years later, and I still sleep with the lights on. I live alone now. Small town, new name, new job. No one here knows me as anything other than the quiet girl at the bookstore. And that's how I like it. I don't talk about Lily, not out loud. Most people here don't even know I had a child. But not a day goes by where I don't think of her. I visit her grave once a year now. I drive back with a hood over my head, sunglasses on. Trying not to be seen, I bring her sunflowers, the kind she used to pick out of our neighbor's garden when she thought no one was watching. I sit beside the headstone, run my fingers over her name, and tell her what I've been doing. Tell her I'm sorry for not protecting her, sorry for trusting the wrong person, sorry for putting her in the hands of the woman who raised me. People say healing comes with time, but what they don't say is, time doesn't heal things you never truly understand. I still see my mother in strangers sometimes, the way someone walks, the tilt of a head, a voice that sounds just a little too familiar. It sends my heart racing. I don't know if I'll ever confront her. I don't even know if I could survive it. I just know, I live every day with a hole in my chest, where my daughter should be. I'm writing this because I need to release it somewhere. I need someone to know, even if it's just strangers. Online? Because if I keep it inside any longer, I might disappear completely. If you've read all this, thank you. Truly, my name doesn't matter. But Lily's does. She was smart, she was kind, she was everything good in this world, and she deserved so much better. My mother killed my daughter. And now, I live with the silence she left behind. If this story reached you, even a little, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps share real voices and real pain that often goes unheard. And if you've ever been through something you couldn't talk about, something you still carry in silence, feel free to share your story in the comments, even anonymously. You never know who might need to read it. Thank you for being here. We'll see you in the next one.